Strategy Kids, it's Pastor Chris, and I'm going to be sharing another Bible story with you this week. There's something I do with the adults that I want to do with you guys too. It's kind of a little silly, but it's called a cyber hug. I miss you guys so much. So can we do a cyber hug? Just go up real close to the TV. That's right. Go ahead. Yeah, come on. Ask your parents if it's okay, but come on. Okay, ready? Here we go. Here comes the cyber hug. Ooh, that was really nice. Thanks so much for doing that with me. Okay, so this week we talked with the adults about the idea of trust. What does it mean to really trust? To trust God, to trust ourselves, to trust others? You might be wondering, what does it mean to trust your teachers or your parents, or to trust your brothers and sisters? And sometimes trust is easy because there's people that we love and we know they love us. And sometimes trust is hard. And we'll see about that in just a moment. So, before we talk about the different ways we trust, let's talk a little bit about what it means to actually trust and what that word means. So, when we talk about believing things, right, we say like we believe, sometimes we say we believe and it's with our head, with our brain. We believe it in here. But sometimes by the way we act or the way we feel, or even other ways that we think that are different from that thing that we believe, it shows us that we're not really trusting. In other words, we haven't given our heart over to that thinking, to that belief. And so when we say trust, we're saying more than thinking. We're saying thinking that goes all the way to connecting. Thinking that makes us connected with people and with other ideas, with even ourselves better. And of course, thinking that connects us more with God, so we can enjoy and experience more of what it means to be God's friend and to be his sons and his daughters. Okay, so, but one of the things that we need to also ask ourselves is, why is it hard for us to trust? Sometimes it is hard. Can you think of reasons why it might be hard to trust? Well, maybe because you've been hurt by somebody before. If somebody hurts you, it's hard to then trust them, right? If your brothers or sisters take your toys or steal something from you, or if somebody at school maybe punched you or bit you or pulled your hair or took something that belonged to you, it can be really hard to trust them. The next time you see them, you're like, I don't know if I trust you. I don't know if I want to be around you. I don't know if I want to be alone with you. Sometimes we don't want to talk with those people anymore, and we have to be able to forgive and keep moving forward and try and connect again in trust. Sometimes it takes some time. It takes a little bit before we trust that person again. And that's okay. We can kind of build on that. But our heart has to be opened up. We've got to open up our heart, forgive and open up our heart and say, I'm going to try that, God. I want to keep being a trusting person. Sometimes we're just scared about something. So we don't trust because we're scared. Did you ever go to walk on something and it looks like it might fall down, and so you look at it, you go, I'm not going to walk on that. That's because you don't trust that it will hold you. Sometimes you're scared to climb something because you don't trust that your muscles are strong enough to keep you up on top of it, and you're afraid you might fall and get hurt. Right? Sometimes we don't trust because we don't understand. We can't in our brains figure out how it would actually be okay and how it will work, and so we have trouble trusting. These are all different reasons why we have trouble trusting, and it's understandable. But God wants us to grow in our trust, in our hearts. For him, of course, he wants us to learn how to trust ourselves, and he also wants us to learn how to trust others and be trusted by them. So why is it important? Why does God want us to trust people? Why do we need to trust people and grow in that? Why do we need to trust God so much? Can't I just believe in him? Isn't that good enough? Well, the Bible does say that even demons believe. Demons are the angels that said, we don't want to be a part of heaven. We want to do our own thing. And so they rebelled against God, and they hate God and they hate us. But it says that they believe, so they understand in their heads, but they have taken their hearts away. So why is it so important that we trust, that we learn what trust is and learn how to trust God, ourselves, and others? Well, because heaven is really a family. A lot of times we talk about heaven like it's a place, and it is a place, but really it's all about family. Think about your home. When you're at home, Your house is the place where your family lives, and so it's very important to you. If you were to try and move away from that home, you might go, oh man, that's kind of scary. I don't want to leave this home. I like my backyard. I like my room. I like my toys. I like my kitchen. But home, the only real reason why that place is so important to you is because that's where your family is. So heaven is about family. And that means that being a son or a daughter of God is all about relationships. But we're made to be like God. We're not God, but we're made like him. We're made in his image. Well, we see a lot of trust in the Lord, right? We see God trusts a lot. Jesus trusted a lot. Do you remember when Jesus was praying to the Father just before the crucifixion, just before he was arrested, and they beat him up, they treated him really bad, and then they even killed him? That was very hard. Do you remember when he was praying? He said something very powerful during that time. He said, not my will, but your will be done. In other words, oh, this is going to be really hard, Dad. I don't want to do this. Not in my body, I don't want to do it. Not with my flesh. There's going to be a lot of pain, and I don't want that kind of pain. It doesn't feel good. I don't like it. But I trust you. I trust you more than I'm afraid of what they could do to me. I trust you more than anything else. And any other challenge isn't as important to me as my connection to you. Staying with you is the most important. So, Jesus said it. So, not my will, not what my body wants, not what was going to feel good for me now, but I want what you want for me. And you have a plan. You have a plan to set all of your children free. And I'm doing that. So he surrendered. He gave himself up. He didn't hold back. He trusted God all the way. All the way. And of course, we know that he did die on the cross, and that was hard. But we also know that he rose from the dead, and he lives forever, right? And there's another one too in Matthew 14:22 to 33. Do you remember we talked about this a couple of weeks ago about Peter walking on the water? Yeah, Peter walked on the water. And that took a lot of trust. And he had trouble with that too. It wasn't really just easy for him. All right, so he saw the wind and the waves and things were going crazy. And then he saw Jesus out there. All the disciples looked out of the boat and they said, is that Jesus out there? So Peter, he was excited too, kind of, because he got up, and even though he was a little scared, he's like, Master, is that you? If that's you, then let me come out on the water to you and walk. Jesus was like, all right, come on. So Peter started walking out on that water. And while he stayed connected, while he was trusting Jesus and stayed connected with him, he was walking on the water. But then what happened? Things started to go wrong around him. The waves got strong and the water was crazy and the wind was blowing and he got scared, right? We can get scared. It's understandable. But when he got scared, he looked away from Jesus. He stopped trusting Jesus and he started to trust all the problems more than he was trusting Jesus. He said, these problems are going to destroy me, rather than saying, hey, these problems are real, but Jesus, he's going to make sure I don't get destroyed. And when that happened, when he started to doubt and he let fear take his faith, and instead of making it trust, his faith got put into fear. And now he didn't trust the Lord. And that relationship was hurting. That's when he began to sink. But of course, God is so good, right? When he started to sink, what did Peter automatically do? I got to get back right with, where's Jesus? Where's Jesus? He looked up and said, Master, help me. Jesus said, of course. He lifted him up. Peter, why did you begin to doubt? I'm right here with you. The same truth you believed in the beginning and that you trusted is the same truth you can trust now. And that's what Jesus wants for all of us, right? So let me finish up here now and say that what can we do? What can you kids do that will help you grow in your trust for the Lord, and you're learning to trust other people and to be the kind of person that other people can trust too? Well, I would say that there's 3 steps. We share the same ones with the adults, and we're going to share them with you. The first step is this: ask God. First, just ask him, Lord, do I struggle with trust? And if I do struggle, show me. Show me where I struggle and how I struggle with trust. Maybe when I'm disobedient to my parents, it's really because I don't trust that they are wise. I don't trust that they know better than I do. And I want what I want. I trust more in what I want to have than I do trust my parents. Which also means, God, if I don't trust my parents very much, then I guess I'm not trusting you very much either. Maybe that's the kind of thing that he'll show you. And then also ask him, Jesus, when my trust gets fixed and when my trust begins to grow, how am I going to think different? How will I feel different? What will my emotions be like? How will I act differently? Ask him so that this way, when you have a moment, and if you see that you're not behaving well, or you're starting to feel bad or angry or sad or upset or jealous or whatever it is, if you're feeling those negative types of feelings, you can say, wait a minute, I must not be trusting, because when I'm trusting the Lord and when I'm trusting my parents, when I'm trusting, I'm not feeling bad. I'm feeling happy. And then the last one is, I'm going to say, talk to your parents or whatever adults there are in your life that help you with really important things in life. You're going to ask them to help you think about these things. Say, hey, I've asked God where I'm struggling with trust. And then I asked him how I could change my feelings and my actions and my thoughts with better trust. Can you help me too? Can you show me maybe things in my life where it looks like that could be part of my trust growth, growing in my trust? And ask them. All right, guys, I know that's a lot for this week, but I love you so much, and I'm so excited to be taking this journey with you, and I do miss you and can't wait to see you again in person real soon.